Hey, we're going to stop global warming. Bill Gates has this great idea. You're going to love it.
Oh, is this his Mr. Burns block out the sun plan?
Yes, it is.
Who made billions out of creating super clunky corporate software. What you didn't realize is that Bill Gates doesn't think of himself that way. Bill Gates doesn't think of himself as some guy who got super rich making bad software.
He's really
bad software.
He's really shitting on
He's
Windows.
a fucking
And
asshole.
honestly, as a Windows user, I agree.
Tucker is such a fucking asshole.
It's clunky as fuck.
I always say this about Tucker, but I could see myself leaping over a table at him. Like he's just that much of a fucking smug prick.
For some guy who got super rich making bad software, Bill Gates thinks of himself as God, in control of the solar system. And that's why Bill Gates is now backing something called sun-dimming technology.
Finally.
I mean, I don't mind so much here in Florida, but you guys, it's gonna suck.
You guys are going to be fucked.
If you're somewhere where it's cold,
it's
Jesus.
Gonna be fucking -90 in Minnesota in March.
They would reflect sunlight out of the Earth's atmosphere, causing global cooling. Ooh, that's not fraught with risks. You thought gain-of-function research on pathogens was dangerous. Try that. But that doesn't stop Harvard University. Its scientists are testing that technology by spewing calcium carbonate dust.
Wait, they're already testing this?
Of course.
No. I've heard of this thing before, but it was always a joke. They're actually actively testing it now.
Yeah, how do you expect them to get it done? Chemtrails aren't real,
At least even Mr. Burns' plan wasn't this bad because it was just like this metal thing that literally blocked the sun, like a one city. This is the planet.
By spewing calcium carbonate dust into the atmosphere.
Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth.
This is
chemical cloud? Wait, I'm sorry.
This is the beginning of an apocalyptic movie.
Am I the only one that finds the term chemical cloud a little bit concerning?
You know what? I got to tell you right now, people that believe in chemtrails are like, see? You fucking see?
So we're going to coat the planet
in chemical clouds.
In a chemical cloud?
Yes.
Okay.
So?
All right, then.
That's also the name of My Chemical Romance fan group I'm a president of.
Creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth. It's called solar geoengineering, and it's highly controversial. It would look something like this. Thousands of planes would fly very high and use nozzles to inject
spray trails of what we could maybe say are chemicals, like some sort of, for short, I would say, like, let's call them chemtrails. So your planes would spray these concentrated chemicals into the air, aerosolizing them. And pumping chemicals into the air and the solar system. Am I getting this right, or
was Alex Jones right again? Oh no!
No. And by the way, I hate chemtrail people, and I hate the fact that they're right.
But they're literally showing you a chemtrail from an airplane.
Thousands of planes would fly very high and use nozzles to inject millions of tons of light-reflecting particles into the stratosphere.
Which is fine. There's no long-term effects for that.
Can we, I don't know, can we do a test run on another planet first, please?
But I love that this is, again, being pushed by the people who supposedly care about the environment.
Yeah.
So I care about the environment so much that I need to put metallic chemical compounds into the air that block the sun. That's how much I love the Earth.
Create a thin chemical cloud of those particles around the whole planet, blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface. It would mimic a giant volcanic eruption, which...
Is that a good thing? I mean, ask the people of Pompeii if that was a great thing. Yes?
Technically, it's worse.
Just because it's the whole planet.
Well, because a volcano eruption and the resulting ash is natural. It's part of the Earth's process.
Right.
So you're just spewing chunks of earth and dust up into the air, and it temporarily blocks out the sun, and eventually that stuff works its way out of the stratosphere. This is worse because we're spraying, and I quote, a chemical cloud into the atmosphere.
Giant volcanic eruption, which we know cools the Earth.
Now, just to restate, Bill Gates is not God. Bill Gates is some kind of weird, socially awkward rich guy who lives in Seattle. He doesn't own the planet.
Whoa, pretty fucking close, dude.
But he's now changing the planet single-handedly. This is not just over his yard in Seattle. This is over your yard and our oceans and the whole planet. Now, according to Forbes, Frank Kutch, who is the project's top investigator, quote, does not know what the results might bring. Well, just experiment with the globe and find out what happens. It's cool, though. He's a billionaire. Michael Schellenberger is the author of Apocalypse Never, Why Environmental Alarmism Hurts Us All, which it does, as our rivers and oceans get dirtier and no one notices. Michael, it's great to see you tonight.
Thanks for having me, Tucker.
It's a little alarming to think that someone as myopic and out of touch and totally ideological and weird as Bill Gates.
It's a lot of adjectives, Tucker. And also, he's a fucking.
Yeah, he keeps slipping in weird.
Yeah.
Several times.
Weird.
He's done it.
Weirdo.
Fucking nerd.
Thinks he's in charge of the planet.
But like, if
What?
Bill Gates grew up in the 90s instead of the 70s, right, he would have been a school.
Yeah. Oh,
There would have been no opportunities, and people like him are usually the ones that are like, I'll show them someday.
but listen to him talk.
I'll show these fucking jocks someday.
Yeah.
And now that's the guy we're letting spray. I want to reiterate this, Royce. A chemical cloud into our stratosphere. I just want you to know that that's their words, by the way. I don't want to get hit by YouTube for misinformation. I'm using they're going to use planes to spray chemtrails of chemical clouds into our atmosphere to block out the sun.
I can't, Mike.
I'm not.
It sounds like a supervillain's plan.
It's literally Mr. Burns. It's the Mr. Burns plan. He's becoming Mr. Burns.
This is something you say when you're high with your cousin. You know, you're like, bro, what if we like block the sun out? That'll stop global warming. And now he's helping fund it in a Harvard.
What if like the powers that be?
Oh shit.
I've always made this joke that like, what if the deep state and the powers that be really actually are good guys, and they're really just trying to push everybody over the edge so they finally fight for their freedom? And like, what if all these guys are like meeting these intelligence guys and these billionaires in these darkened rooms smoking cigars, and they're going, look, nothing's working, right? We literally just told these lazy fucks that we're going to blot out the sun with chemicals, and they're still not doing anything. Like, we have
Think
tried.
it's a social experiment?
Yeah, I really just have this theory that the deep state are really the good guys, and they're like, we've been poking them to try to get them to go over the edge and finally take back their cut, and they're really lazy, man. Like, we've moved up now to Operation Sunblot, and they're still just like, I guess that's okay. Like, we're gonna force vaccinate them. We're force vaccinating them, and they're not allowed to leave their homes without a special ID card. But we're also letting illegals vote without ID, and somehow these people still aren't killing us. I just don't think we can actually push these people and motivate them.
His next plan is going to be to just nuke the fault line in Nevada like Lex Luthor did for beachfront property.
Look, half the shit we've been saying on the news is just to fuck with these people. But it's like,
They don't listen.
no reaction. I go, hey guys, check it out. You're not allowed to have a job anymore. Cruise lines are shut down, and you're going to have a special ID to travel. And we're forcing a vaccine. We're going to have army trucks parked in front of your house giving vaccinations. And we're also blocking out the sun with chemicals. And these people just, I don't know, maybe they're, but like, they just keep looking at me like, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Why don't you blot out Windows updates every 5 minutes, Bill Gates? Why don't you do that instead?
You think they're just poking us with a stick going, come on, do something.
Clippy pops up and says, it looks like you need help blotting out the sun.
So anyway, that's what we're going to use planes to spray chemicals that will block out the sun. Are you listening? Huh? Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go? I'm hungry.
Whatever, man.
Can we
It's
go to
just
lunch?
fine. This
I'm
is
tired.
fine.
Nobody cares.
Should we
Hey
be
guys,
worried
look,
about here?
he's going to block out the sun with chemicals. See, nobody
no one
cares.
No one cares. Can somebody do that? Put Bill Gates on that meme. That would actually be great.
I mean, basically everything. I mean, when I first heard about this over 2 decades ago, this was a thought experiment. But this is real. They're really trying to do this. They've encountered opposition every step of the way.
Yeah. Because you're trying to blot out the sun.
I've co-authored.
By the way, because now there's a bunch of people going, yeah, we knew chemtrails all along. All you fucking doubters. Look, I never doubted that they didn't experiment with the atmosphere and spray all kinds of shit into it. I never denied that. The problem was that a lot of you would take fucking videotapes of these regular, like, Boeing 767s and go, look. Like, there are still contrails, too. And a lot of uploaded thousands of videos to YouTube going, here it is, day 11, and this is plane number 24. Look at the back. Look at that. And you're going, well, yeah, because it's really high up. And
he's writing Jesus Loves in the Sky. It's a skywriter.
But I never denied, like, look at Monsanto and this shit. Yes, people have been spraying cancer into us for fucking 40 years now.
Articles with the Harvard investigator. We've told him personally this is a terrible idea. The vast majority of scientists disagree with this. You have to remember what they're proposing to do is identical to what we feared would occur after nuclear war in the 1980s, which is nuclear winter. The idea is that you cool the planet deliberately. The effects on crops are completely unknown.
Yeah, but he owns like the majority of farmland in the U.S. You can look that up. That's actually true. Bill Gates does.
They call this an experiment, but they know that there is no way to figure out what the large-scale planetary effects of this kind of thing would be. It's gross.
So you're telling me that I'm not allowed to have a plastic straw in California, but Bill Gates can blot out the sun as an experiment.
Also, can you explain to me why I'm looking at the real life news and the banner underneath says, and I just want to quote this again.
Please do.
Dimming the sun could backfire in dangerous ways. Why am I living in a RoboCop movie?
It does. This looks like one of those RoboCop vignettes in between the scenes.
That's what I mean. It feels like just you're like, why am I in a Paul Verhoeven film right now? This is like John Carpenter shit. Just looking at like if I woke up one day and I was just like, oh man, I'm like trying to get some coffee going and I'm not really awake yet. And I turn the TV on and that's what I see. And it's like, I would just be like, wait, am I awake?
Wait,
are we turning off the sun? Should I call my local congressman?
This has to be a joke. Is this a joke?
Hey, is it true you guys are turning off the sun? I'd like to know what time.
And it's crazy because I do remember this from many years ago. They were just, talking about it, but everyone was like, oh, that's crazy. They're doing the experiments right now.
Mostly irresponsible. They know for a fact that they will never get international agreement on this. So they're basically trying to socialize the idea, normalize the idea, make us comfortable with an idea.
Where's that tactic come from? I've never seen that done before.
I have, but I can't say it because I want to stay on YouTube.
That should make us extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, a guy who cuts his hair with garden shears is now trying to control the solar system.
Oh, Tucker.
The funny thing is, anyone who notices this, that maybe Bill Gates has outsized control over our lives, is immediately denounced by Snopes or one of these fraudulent fact-checking sites as a conspiracy nut. Do you think you're a conspiracy nut to have concerns about Bill Gates' hubris and ambitions?
No, I mean, this is bonkers. I mean, honestly, there are
an underrated Disney cartoon from the 90s?
Very few people, when you talk to them privately, think this is a good idea. There's a lot of people that are very scared to speak out publicly because Bill Gates' influence is extraordinary. He's a massive philanthropist. I think his intentions are very good. Nobody doubts he's well-intentioned. But good...
I do. I doubt that he's well-intentioned.
Intentions can lead to some very bad things. The amount of hubris and arrogance involved here. We're talking about millions of farmers around the world who will be affected by this. How will they be consulted? What is the idea for how this is going to be governed? There is no plan for governance. There is no way to get agreement on this internationally. They know this. Tucker, the thing is, the trends on climate change, most people don't realize they're going in the right direction. The United States has reduced its carbon emissions.
What about China? What about India?
Didn't say it right.
What about China or India?
Going up. It's going up.
Have you ever seen
By-
the videos of like there's some like beaches in like Vietnam and Indonesia that are like literally just it's all plastic waste. Like you can barely see the water, and it's like partially those countries that are doing it, but a lot of it's just washing over from India and China, and they
really
can't
bad,
do anything. Like I've seen videos of beaches where it's a sea of plastic just like rushing onto the beach, and you're like, wow, dude.
By more than any other country over the last 20 years, we've had an extraordinary success in the United States in reducing our air pollution, and now we're faced with the prospects of this radical experiment.
If there's one thing we could do to improve our country overnight, it's tax-exempt nonprofits. People like Bill Gates make billions. They die, but they continue to distort our society with these tax-exempt foundations. We should tax them immediately. Pay the rate we pay today.
That's not good. That's not going to happen, Tucker. Tucker's Joker posting, but I doubt that's going to happen, bud. Highly doubt it.